In this video, we're going to continue to talk about writing the first draft of your science report. We're even going to focus in on writing a strong conclusion to a report as well. Now, what I want you to do is open up your practice companion books and turn to page 128, and also get out your writing journals. Now, what I want you to do is take a look at page 128, and I really want you to focus in on the way that the writer expressed her ideas and linked the sentences in her body paragraphs together. And I also want you to take a look at and consider the conclusion, and taking a look at and remembering that a strong concluding paragraph should summarize the main points of the report and leave the reader with something interesting to think about. So, two questions I want you to answer as you're looking at this writing model, and I want you to write this down in your writing journal, and we're going to go over this in class. So first of all, how does the author link the sentences in her body paragraphs? You want to take a look at how the author links her sentences and think about that as you begin writing your body paragraphs today. And also, in her conclusion, does she summarize the main points and leave the reader with something to think about? And that's also something that's very important to do. And I want you to answer these questions in your writing journal, read over that writing model again, and we'll talk about this in class. So pause the video now. Now, it's important as you begin writing your science report, your body paragraphs, and understand that sentences in a science report should fit together like pieces in a puzzle, and transitional words and phrases should be used to help readers connect ideas and improve their comprehension. Okay, so very important to think about that. Now, some examples that connect ideas, or some examples of really good transition words because of, for example, perhaps, one of them, all of these, or in fact. Okay, using really good transitions and connecting everything really help the ideas run smoothly from one part to the next. Now, along with transition words and transition sentences and so on, it's important to remember sentence fluency. And we talked about this before, but a combination of short and long sentences keeps the reader engaged. Now, repeating the same words or phrases makes a reader bored or very disinterested. It's also important to not have every sentence end with a period. Have some with exclamation mark, have some with a question mark, and so on. And having a variety of sentence structures keeps your report from becoming just a list of facts. Important to think about that, because a science report could turn into very boring if you don't really think about it and really have a focus of making it interesting. Now, the final thing we're going to take a look at is a strong conclusion. Look at page 128 in your practice book and in your practice companion book, and you can see that a strong conclusion needs to summarize the ideas in your report so the reader can evaluate whether or not he or she understands your ideas. Very important to think about including something for the reader to think about as you create a strong conclusion. We do not want to end with, and that is the end of my report, and now you know a lot about asteroids, or whatever you're writing about. So here's an example. So let's say, for example, I am talking about making plants stronger, and I need to think about that I need to summarize what I have explained about the ways that science helps make plants stronger. So I'll mention the three main areas that I explored, then look to the future to suggest some more ways, more advances may be on the way, and I'll start connecting this paragraph back to the other previous paragraphs. So here's an example. As we have seen, scientists have improved traditional fertilizers, developed hybrids of many plants, and even begun to explore genetic modification to make plants stronger. More advances are on the way. New technologies will no doubt lead to new questions about gardening and farming. One thing is for sure, though, science will never stop trying to make something as pretty as a rose even more beautiful. Okay, so you can see that I've talked about fertilizers, I've talked about hybrids of many plants, and even genetic modification. Those were my three main parts of my story. I touched on them, and then I even looked into the future about some other ideas and really made the reader think about something. So as you come to class today, you're going to continue drafting your science report. You're going to look at paragraphs 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're not going to complete this all in one day. We really want to think about your 2, 3, and 4 are going to touch on your three main topics. Paragraph 5 is going to really wrap everything together and even refer back to your previous report or previous paragraphs. Very important to think about including transition words to help your report flow very clearly. And like I said, conclude by summarizing your main points and leaving your reader with something to think about. So this concludes the video on writing the first draft using transition words and writing that conclusion of your science report. If you have any questions about this concept, please come and see me.